Captain Lemuel. We out here at the Grambling Homecoming in Grambling, Louisiana. We got 4 camps going. We got the captain teaching. We got brothers teaching in every corner. Thousands of our people out here that are in the midst of sins that just don't know. So we using current events. We're using what's going on with Kyrie. We're using what's going on with Ye to draw people in, to fish our people in.
We all the Israelites. Just met the brother, Mr. a police officer, and he shook our hand. He said he see us all the time. He really like what we're doing. And he know we the Israelites. So that show you what Israel United in Christ is doing is touching people all over the world from all walks of life. We can never offend our people. We're only here to uplift our people.
Vernon got boots in your block. We cannot settle till we reach the top. I seen the ops, running the cops, running the nobles with sinister plots. All of that hating, boy, you better stop. We seen the distance, it was a flop. Pastor Piggy said, give me all the guap. Lied to you, then he filled the pot. Look, we ain't going for them lies no more.
I watch y'all on Facebook. Y'all be in another state. I like what y'all be saying. And sometimes people need to listen.
I don't ever wanna cry no more. I don't wanna see you die no more. Salvation, what we fighting for. My forefathers used to die at war. So I'm praying for courage and constantly.
Oh, I am so ready.
Give us a call when you're ready to come to the school.
I'm ready today.
Give us a call. Give us a call.
The Lord is good. The Lord is not here to give
Oh
it
my God.
Yeah, we stay on go, bit it like you know. 144, yeah, we stay on go, bit it like you know. 144, yeah, we stay on go, bit it like you know. 144, yeah, we stay on go, bit it like you know. 144, yeah, we stay on go, bit it like you know. 144, yeah, we stay on go, bit it like you know. 144, yeah, we stay on go, bit it like you know. 144, yeah, we stay on go, bit it like you know. Yeah, we stay on go. Nah, they don't want no smoke. Yeah, 144, better be taking notes. You ain't no better act like it. Stop the murmuring and backbite. Sons of God, we don't get tight. See your shots, watch them backfire. We be steady, mob it, with them killers lurk. Lay your hand.
Hey.
Shalom Israel, I'm Captain Tazawan.
Officer Michael.
IUIC Orlando, we were given the opportunity today to present Joseph's Dream film as a learning tool on behalf of IUIC TV.
What we're going to do today is we're going to go with some black history, but not the typical Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman. A lot of times our history is confined to just February when there's much more than that.
I really like the film. The film just showed what, who we are, and my favorite part about it, especially you mentioning at the end, is that we just need to love each other and love ourselves because of what we come from, how we, what it took for us to be created.
Kids loved it. We got great feedback. We got a good round of applause. And they want us to come back to show possibly Miriam when that comes out, and even more films. So we appreciate the opportunity. IUIC, 12 tribes will arise.
You'll notice that every one of these curses is what we deal with on a daily basis. So our solution, when we look into the Bible, when we look at it and we see ourselves, like when I read about Christ, I see another black man. I don't see that guy that's on the billboards and all of that. He looked like me. He looked like y'all. These are the things that build self-esteem into a man. If I look at you and I see Christ in you, I can't sell you drugs till your teeth fall out your mouth. Can you imagine that? Look at this brother, big, strong brother. Imagine me selling them dope. And I watch his body decay in front of my eyes. I just keep selling it to him. Just keep selling it to him, keep selling it to him. It's the mentality behind it. This is the foundation of us loving one another. And that's what we're about. At Israel United in Christ, we all about rebuilding our community. That's what we came. As soon as we found out about it, we hopped on it so that we can come here and be in front of y'all.
This is a prime example of them not giving a damn about us at all here on the east side. The brother passed out.
The term African American came from two European men. Leo Scipio Africanus, like I was telling you. He conquered and he took over Africa.
A bystander who he had given plasma today, and we didn't know what was wrong, but he passed out while he was here in front of us listening. We notified the proper authorities, and we're thinking that help is on the way, swiftly on the way. Ambulance pulls up. We don't hear no sirens, no nothing. The ambulance pulls up and is at the light. We're looking at them, they're looking at us. They're at the light and they're literally waiting for the light to turn green. The man is on the ground. He's on the ground and they're waiting on the light to turn green. Now again, I've been around here for a while. Ambulances, when they are responding to an emergency, which this was, they have their lights going, people get out the way, and they're going through the lights. That's the lights, their emergency lights is to alert people, hey, we're trying to get through, make way, it's an emergency. None of that over here on the east side. None of that. No regard for our lives. They don't care. Like I said, they get out nonchalant like it's no big deal. I asked them, hey, what's up with the lights? They say, oh, most of the time we don't use the lights. Okay, cool. Maybe something I don't know. But this is an emergency. So when do y'all use the lights?
Started thinking, man. Either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about what's going on in the hood.
Message!
What I'm doing is I'm Me Tooing the Jewish culture. I'm saying y'all gotta stand up and admit to what y'all been doing.
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics, with the KKK to control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the race, the people known as the race black, really are. This is who our people are.
There's no such thing as we are Jews also. White people are not the Jews, the Bible says. They're not. They don't fit none of the curses that the Bible prophesies would happen to the true Jews.
You saying you're Jewish?
No, I'm Jew, not Jewish.
Jew.
Jewish means like that of a Jew. I'm saying I'm Jew.
You're Jew.
Blood of Christ.
That's why they mad at Ye. He bringing it out. He got a platform of millions. We only got a platform of thousands, but he got a platform of millions. That's why we gonna ride this train till the wheels roll off.
If you took my life right now, you're gonna see something you never saw.
We got a bishop on deck. See what I'm saying? Hazaloo, we got a bishop on deck. Like, Hazaloo, we got a bishop on deck.
Hazaloo, see my bishop on deck. All rise on feet, so respect. All these damn dogs get checked. Hey, see what I'm saying? Hey, shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play.
Hazaloo, we got the bishop on deck. On deck. Hazaloo, we got the bishop on deck.
See what I'm saying?
Hazaloo, we got the bishop on deck.
Shalom, brothers. Shalom, sisters. Bishop Nathaniel here. You know what day it is. That's right. It is Shout Out Tuesday. It's Shout Out Tuesday. And you know how I love to read your letters of exhortation and your donations of support. But before I do that, I often love to cover a little bit of our hidden history. So sit back, relax yourself, get your libations, get your diet food, get your comfort food. Get whatever you need to munch on and to make you relax, all right? So let's take a look at this look into our history, and I'll be right back. The Image of the Black and Western Art, Volume 2. This was published by Harvard. Okay. Harvard University Press in England. This book goes into heraldry, which is the coats and arms of kings, queens, knights, rulers, bishops. As you can see, these are black images during the Middle Ages. Okay? Black rulers. All right. On. Here's some more. These are things they don't show you in school. They teach black history starting with slavery from more or less around 1619 all the way from there, or not all the way, but from there. Never going before that, where these images, like we're showing here, let's take a look at what year is that? 1316. Okay, 1316. Some of them even at 1276. Because we were ruling during that time period. All right, take a look. Take a look. Now, where is this? This is number 5. Let me zoom in a little closer. 5. Memorial bearings of Cologne, the holy kings, the bishop and his vassals, okay? That's what number 5 is. What you're looking at here. Okay. Number 6. Banners of Sardinia and Corsica associated with the arms of the King of Aragon. Let's take a look. Do you see that? A black man. Black men. Let's look at this one. Number 7, heraldic Moors from the Universal Memorial of the Gallery Herald, 1370. Let's take a look. Look. There's a sister right there. Another one over there. So what I'm showing you is that black people ruled during the Dark Ages. Now, watch this. This one I wanted to show you guys. This is picture number 9, right? Take a look. It's in black and white, but this one looks like I see Caucasian people, no color, and I see black people with bows and arrows. Black people in the castle. There's a lion attacking one of these white guys with no pigment. Now, this is picture number 9. Let's see what it says. Number 9, Wild Men and Moors Tapestry. All it says is Wild Men and Moors, okay? Y'all remember in the movie or the series on HBO called Game of Thrones, there was a group of guys or wild people called the Wildlings. This is where they got it from. Now, the colored image of this black and white, I'm going to show you it. They have it right here on the next page. And it's in color. Look. Y'all see that? White folks, hairy, attacking black people who live in the castle. Do y'all see this? Look at the top. Black people, black people, black people, black people. Black women. There's a king right there. Archers and bowmen. Do y'all see this? Do you see this? Do your children see this? We were fighting for our lives to retain our homes, our castles, because we were the rulers. And white folks attacked us. See, it's in their spirit. A lot of y'all always want to know, why do white people always attack us? It's in their spirit. From the book of time of Genesis, 25 on down, you can read about these people always attacking us. Okay? All right. We're going to look at figure 48, but let's get the wording first. Figure 48. I'll start from here. We should point out that the two scenes do not appear in the older versions of the play of the Antichrist that we have been able to consult. A little further on in the manuscript, monstrous white men. Oh, I like this wording here. Monstrous white men and blacks carrying curved sabers and an emblazoned shield march toward the Antichrist, and kings from all over the world worship him. Let's take a look at that. That was figure 48. There we go. Monstrous white men on a goat, marching black men to the Antichrist. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Now let's look at number 47. King of the Moors submitting to the Antichrist. That's figure 47. Figure 47. King of the Moors submitting to the Antichrist. That's the white man. We've been telling y'all the Antichrist is the white man for years. You Christians have a lack of faith. You don't believe nothing we tell you. Even when we show you in the scriptures. Now we're showing you with ancient archaeology. Our fathers always knew the white man is Antichrist. Okay? Always knew. Look at this. 46. Envoys of the Antichrist preaching before the kings of Libya and Ethiopia. 46. Oh, here's 46. Let's pull back. Envoys of kings before the Antichrist preaching. The Antichrist preaching. Do y'all see this? Do you see this? Well, I really don't know how to help you. I'm going to go back to this one. King of the Moors submitting to the Antichrist. Number 47. I don't think I went all the way down. I started up here, but I didn't go. There's the king there with the Moors. There's the Antichrist, but I didn't go down when it says that he submitted to him. Look, and they took the crown off his head. That's what the white man does. The white man and his false prophet. The beast and the false prophet. Oh boy, Christianity, democracy. They remove kings and put kings in that they want. That's what America does. Y'all keep playing. You better get with this, these parables we've been trying to share with y'all. Open your understanding. Number 50. Memorial bearings of the great Khan and his vassals. Number 50. There's the great Khan there. Crown over his head. Let's pan down. Black. 3 black men here. '51. Memorial bearings of the vassals of the emperor. Memorial bearings of the vassals of Emperor of Constantinople. Do y'all see this? Black men with swords. We're going to look at picture, let me zoom in. We're going to look at picture 73, 74, and 75. 73 is the capture of Antioch, William of Tyre, Historia della Tierra de Ottoman. 13th to 14th century, excuse me. Next one is the defeat of the Prince of Egypt, William Tyre, Historia della Terra de Ottoman. 75, Charlemagne's siege of Agen. All right, here is picture 73. I want y'all to take a good look. Here's a castle. There's black people wearing armor in the castle, throwing down stones. Here we have white people attacking the castle, trying to take the castle. Pay close attention. This is our history. This is what led into slavery. Let's go down. This is picture, oh, I'm sorry. This is 74 here. Where is it? 74. Take a good look. White people in armor chopping up black people that they conquered. Do y'all see that? This is our history. This is what led us into slavery, the transatlantic slave trade. This predated it. Here's 75 with Aragon leading men against who? Black people in a castle with bows and arrows and armor. Do y'all see that? Pay close attention. This predated slavery. After this came the slave trade. 76, capture of Damietta, Joinville. Okay, let's take a look. Pay close attention. What do you see? White people coming against black people in a castle. We told y'all we were ruling Europe for 1,000 years. Okay. 77, Crusaders fighting Saracens. These are black men. They started lightening their color, but these are black men. These are Caucasians coming against us. Look on the coats of arms. You have black heads. Okay. 170, 171. Jean de La Chapelle. Black king and serving man details. So, here you have the black king. And this is possibly the serving man, possibly. $172. Let's go up. 172. Black king. No, and they don't give a name. Just black king. Just black king. Picture 218, memorial bearings of the Pucci family. Italy, 15th century, 17th to the 17th century. And then we're going to look at picture 219. So picture 218, we're going to look at the Pucci family. I want y'all to see this because it's not a drawing. Okay, these are etched in stone. Stone reliefs of black men ruling Europe. Down here, pay close attention. You have white man on horseback.
You have the image of a black knight with a shield, black coat of arms on a stick. And the white guy's practicing fighting against the black man, which is an Israelite, which they call Moors or Saracens in this book. This is our conquest, how they conquered us. Okay, this is near that time. Remember, this is the 15th to the 16th century. But remember, we were the rulers. We want to look at what it says about 221. Picture 221. That's 221. 221. Let's pull back just a little bit. To cite only one more example, the diversification of heraldic themes gave birth to a charming circular composition by, I don't know what that says, a wild man. Remember I said instead of saying white man, they like to say wild man. A wild man holding two shields, one with a hare, which is a rabbit, the other with the head of a black. Wait a minute, let's take a look at that again. Look, the white man, remember the Genesis 25 said the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. This is Esau. There's the rabbit, the hare, and there's the head of the black man on the coat of arms. This is illustrating them conquering us. Now, let's look at picture 222. 222. Let me see if I get it right. The black head adorns the shield of St. George on a silver statuette dating to 1503, the oldest piece in the collection, and figures on the guard and pommel of the sainted knight's sword. Okay. Let's take a look. All right, you got a white guy in armor, but look, he has the shield of a black man's head. And this is a dragon. You can't make this stuff up. We're going to look at picture 223 and 224. Monogrammist, PW, playing cards, king and knave in the Parrot series. Cologne about 1500. There's 224 and 223. Look at the black man on the horse, the knave, and there's the Parrot series it's talking about. Black man in armor on a horse. Armored horse. Black man in armor. There's a Parrot series. I'm showing you once again, black people ruled Europe. We were the warriors. We were the kings. We were the queens. Picture 225 I want to look at. Memorial bearings of the Dura family. 1523. Look, black man. There's a date, 1523 AD. Coat of arms. A black ruler. Wars of the Jews. Written by Monroe Rosenthal and Isaac Mosesson. Now, the reason I wanted to go to this book and to show you, I wanted to show you that these are two Jewish people who wrote this book. That's Monroe Rosenthal, and there is Isaac Mosesson. Because what people do today, anytime you pull out a book referencing Caucasians' conversion to Judaism, they say, oh, it was written by an anti-Semite. It was written by someone who hates Jews, so-called Jewish people. That's, well, again, the books I show you, no. These were written by Jewish people, for Jewish people. Chapter 8, the Wars of the Afro-Asian Jews. Now, you never hear about Afro-Asiatic Jews at all. For centuries, Jews had been living at peace with the Semitic Negroid Berbers, those are Jews, or Hamitic Berbers, those are Nilotes, in lands we call Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia. After 1000 BEC, the Barbary coast was settled by Phoenicians from Lebanon, a Canaanite Semitic people who spoke a dialect akin to Hebrew. Their city-states of Utica and Carthage, Karthadash or New City, were ruled by a Sophet akin to the Israelite Shofet or judge. So what these writers do is they show you that the original Jews were black. I'm just getting some key points. At the time of Queen Gehenna, 8 Berber tribes professed the Jewish faith and fought under the command of this remarkable Jewish queen. Okay, they were fighting against Muslims. Lions of Africa and Judah, the queen would shout to her troops, show these Arabs we will never be enslaved by Islam. Our beloved Africa will remain free. Let our slogan be the cry of the zealots of old, freedom or death. Okay, let's go down. 1,000 Berber lances clashed with slashing Arab scimitars as the impassioned Judeo-Berbers threw themselves at the fanatic Muslim Ishmaelites. The Arabs were completely routed. So the Ishmaelites, they know, are the Arabs. And the Jews at this time were black. But let's see where the conversion came in. I'm on page 207. The Khazars. I'm just reading the underlined parts. And the largest in territory, the mysterious Jewish empire of the Khazars, occupying a large chunk of today's Soviet Union. That's Russia. First mentions in Byzantine accounts of 627 CE, Common Era. The Khazars overran Armenia, the Ukraine, the Crimea, eastern Romania, and as far east as the Azov Sea, ruling between the Don and Volga rivers and the Black, Caspian, and Azov Sea. That's the Caucasus Mountains area. They were allied with the Byzantines against the Persians. A Byzantine emperor, Constantine V, found it important to marry a Khazar princess, and their son Leo IV was called the Khazar. Most Jewish historians who do treat the Khazars at all date their conversion to Judaism to the 8th century. That's around 700 AD, around there. All right, here's a book published by Time Life, The Israelites. On the cover, you can see a Caucasian Moses and Caucasian Israelites. Okay, we're going to go inside the book. The Emergence of Man, The Israelites, by the editor of Time Life Books. We're going to go to page 35 first. Okay, we're on page 35, chapter 2, The Promise and the Covenant. Let's see what the book says about this guy. In this detail of an 1800 BC wall painting from the palace at Mari on the Euphrates River in Mesopotamia, a bull, adorned with a white crescent and gilded horn tips, is led to ritual slaughter by a Semitic tribesman. See, this is Semitic, which comes from the name Shem. Let's see what color this Shemite or Semite is. He don't look Caucasian to me, brothers and sisters. He don't look Caucasian to me. Let's get some more. Let's go on over to page 50. Chapter 3, Exodus and Commandments. Painted in the 3rd century AD, this fresco, more than 4 feet high, dramatizes a traditional view of Moses' God-given powers. Miraculously creating a well in the desert, he provides water for the 12 tribesmen who, exhausted by the flight from Egypt, had lost confidence that he would save them. The work was discovered on the wall of a synagogue in Dura Europa, an ancient city on the Euphrates River in Syria. All right, there's Moses. There's Moses, black. The heads of the 12 tribes, black. Here's a 7-branch menorah. What I'm showing y'all is that the Israelites have always been black. A black-skinned people, whether it's a light brown to a very dark brown. All right, let's go to page 58. During the Exodus from Egypt, Moses carries out the orders of his God, symbolized by the hands at the top of this 244 AD fresco. At left, he leads the oppressed Israelites across the Red Sea, just drained by divine intervention so that the remaining shallows teem with jumping brown fish. Lined up behind the vanguard of troops are the elders of the traditional 12 Israelite tribes. At right, a second image of Moses appears in the act of flooding the Red Sea again, now that the Israelites are safe in the desert, thereby engulfing the Egyptians who pursued them. The 4-foot-high fresco, a portion of which is reproduced here, was found in the ruins of a synagogue at the Syrian city of Dura Europa by a British patrol during World War I. The picture had unwittingly been preserved by the city's inhabitants in 256 AD. The temple was located close to the town walls. In a last effort at defense against an advancing army, the citizens tore the roof from the building and filled the rooms with sand to make a deep barrier. Because of the protective sand pack, when the British dug out the synagogue, the fragile paintings emerged almost unscathed by the passage of some 17 centuries. So here, let's pull back. Here's the hand of God. The hand of God. What color is it? Black. Here are the 12 tribes of Israel. Black. There's the fish at the bottom. Here's Moses here. God is directing Moses. God again is directing Moses. What color is he? Black. What type of hair does he have? Afro, the pure wool. Do you see that? He has a staff in his hand and he's drowning the Egyptians. The Egyptians are also black. So the story of Moses and the 12 tribes of Israel, it was a black nation in captivity to another black nation. This black nation, the Egyptians, were Nilotes, Nilotic Hamites. Okay? They were never Caucasian. Never Caucasian. The Negroes and the Jews, written by Lenora E. Burson. Now, Lenora E. Burson is a Caucasian woman. Let's go inside the book and see what she came up with. He recalled, "My father was a janitor who liked to read the Bible and used to say, 'We are descended from the tribe of Judah. We are Jews.'" That's where the word Jew comes from, Judah. Recipes clung to the idea. Unlike the word Negro, Jew conjured up to him a rich history and culture, a religion and a language. Now I'm going to go down. You see the word the here, right? The. So I'm going to just start on the next page for time's sake. The Negro's claim to be Jewish is legitimate. Let's read that again. The Negro's claim to be Jewish is legitimate. The land of Israel is located in Western Asia and borders on North Africa. All of the native inhabitants of that region were non-white, meaning not Caucasian. When Spain expelled its Jews in 1492, Many of them went to Africa. It seems probable that some of them were brought later to America as slaves. The spirituals never sing of African rivers. It's always the Jordan or the Red Sea. They don't sing about African chiefs or kings. It's David or Moses or some other Jewish characters from the Bible. Wow. All right, you saw it for yourself. You saw it for yourself. Brothers, sisters, sit back. Today is a day. And when I say today is a day, I mean, so much has happened during the week. I had Shadow Tuesday prepared, and then something else happened, and something else happened. So I said, you know what? Let me put it all together. Let me put it all together, or at least a big chunk of it together. All right. So what I'm going to do, we're going to watch these clips, and I'm going to come back with my commentary on our brother, Kyrie Irving. All right. We're going to deal with these boot-licking black reporters and black anchormen and women. And I'm going to show you what the Bible has to say about all this controversy that's going on. All right. So sit back, get your Bibles, pens, and notebook, and prepare yourself.
With Nick Friedel the other night after the game, and look, if he keeps making a big thing out of the word promotion, that is promotion. If on your social media you say, boom, here's a link to this, that tells me, hey, you should watch this. Correct? I mean, he's got 17 million Instagram followers, another 5 million or so on Twitter.
I think the NBA dropped the ball.
In what way?
I think he should have been suspended. I think Adam should have suspended him. First of all, Adam's Jewish. You can't take my $40 million and insult my religion. If you're going to insult me, you have the right, but I have the right to say, no, you're not going to take my $40 million and insult my religion. I think the NBA, they made a mistake. We have suspended people and fined people who have made homophobic slurs, and that was the right thing to do. I think if you insult the black community, you should be suspended or fined heavily, depending. I saw they did the same thing to the kid in Minnesota this year when he made the gay slur. I think you should get suspended or fined. I think him acknowledging the Alex Jones thing should have happened with that too, because that dude's crazy. And I can't believe that we ain't talking about that. We're talking about this idiot. And when you say, if I say, hey, I'm agreeing with this movie, this book, or whatever, I'm agreeing with it. I'm not going to put, first of all, you know I don't do any social media, but when you're somebody as great as basketball like him, people going to listen to you, what you say. And there's some fringe people out there, but like I say, I blame the NBA. He should have been suspended.
And their conversations are continuing with the Brooklyn Nets,
it's too
with
late
the NBA,
now.
But they're also looking at, they're looking at how do we move forward at this so we don't go through this again. No, it's not too late to say how do we prevent this. It's not too late to do that. But I see, look, I see what you're saying.
I want to say that the reason it's too late, the NBA is giving in to peer pressure. If one of our players do something, they have the right, the team or the league has to do something immediately. If you just give in to peer pressure, that's the problem I have. This should have been handled already.
Kenny, let's get into this. Go ahead.
Well, firstly, if we're going to take what he says on a Twitter, we have to take everything he says. So if I'm going to take everything he says, I'm going to believe that he doesn't support or any of the views or promote the views of it. He said it right in my face. I have to accept that.
He does, Skip. I think the thing is because he didn't actually say it, he tweeted the link to it. It's like, and he was referencing like they've used slurs, and we've seen guys get fined for slurs. As a matter of fact, just off season, Anthony Edwards, Skip the Timberwolves. I think he got a heavy fine for using a slur.
He did.
And so I agree. I also agree with Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller said, when Robert Sarver did what he did, the players had something to say. When Donald Sterling did what he did, the players had something to say. Kyrie Irving tweeted that, and players ain't say nothing. We got to stop this notion. And I get it, Skip, because I'm in the black community. It's very hard. We don't have a whole lot of people that ascend from where we came from to the ranks. And so we're willing to overlook when they're transgressions because, like, oh, hey, that's what they do. That's what the other side, they forget. Right is right. Wrong is wrong. I don't care if it's black, red, or purple. I don't care if it's Asian, Judaism, Islam. If you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm going to say it. I get criticized. How dare you talk about Kyrie? You being Ruckus, you Tommy, you Cooney, you bootlicking. Call me what you want. But you won't call me is that I'm being unfair. I'm going to call it right down the middle. Just like I stepped to Brett Favre because I thought he was wrong, I'm going to step to Kyrie Irving when I think he's wrong, and Antonio Brown, and so forth and so on, Skip. So I agree with Charles, and I get what he's saying. And I think the NBA, but Skip, here's the problem. Isn't Kyrie Irving the vice president of the Players Association? The man is the vice president of the Players Association. And this is what he putting out.
Does that excuse him?
No.
No.
He's in a leadership position. He needs to be even more careful about what he tweets, or what he puts on his social media platform. And Charles is right. There's a reason why we get the athletes and entertainers get to be product, because people listen to us. People, when we say this, or we say buy this, or we say go see that, or we drive this, or we drive that, that's why people go do that. So there's a responsibility that comes along with all the things that you get from being a professional athlete, celebrity, or an entertainer. But Skip, it's bad that Kyrie Irving wants to, and I got no problem being pro, but I'm not going to be pro and I try to minimize somebody else's what they've gone through. I understand that we've all had, different people have had different things throughout the course of time. The Jewish community went through what they went through in the Holocaust. We had slavery. The Asian community with World War II. Skip had the intermittent concentration camp. So there have been a lot of groups. The Native Americans had the Trail of Tears. I get all of that. So for me to try to promote my people while minimizing some of the other things that they've gone through just wouldn't be fair.
Exactly.
So, but I agree with Charles Barkley 100%. I agree with Reggie Miller 10,000%. But at this point, Skip, if you were to find him or you suspend him now it's just retroactive. Now you're just being reactive to the masses and what they said. In the NBA, Skip, the one thing, and I'm gonna turn it over to you, the one thing I can normally say about the NBA, they're very proactive. That's not about the league that you and I have been a part of for a very, very long time. The NFL is normally reactive. The NBA is normally proactive. But this time, I think they missed an opportunity here.
So I agree with everything you just said 100,000%.
Thank you, Mesa. You know what? I got a headache watching Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley. I don't think either one of them even looked at the video or read the book of that documentary. In fact, possibly nobody on that panel saw the documentary or read the book to check it out and examine it for themselves. See, what the problem is with you black men in the sports world, I'll just say this, the entertainment world, because I'm discussing you actors too, and you court jesters, comedians. Y'all too. Y'all don't check things out. Whatever your white slave master say, you run with it. You don't check things out for yourself. You don't look at things for yourself. You don't have a thought for yourself. What master say? Our house on fire, master? Oh, let's blow out the fire for master, cause our house on fire. Our house on fire. Y'all need to shut the hell up. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. Now, many of you know, according to Genesis 25 down, it begins and teaches us the origin of the Caucasian race, how they descend from Esau. Isaac had two sons, Jacob and Esau. Jacob became the father of the 12 tribes of Israel, in which blacks here in America, we descend from that. Not just us here in America, but the diaspora in general. We descend from Jacob. Latinos as well, Native American Indians as well. We descend from Jacob. Now, the Caucasian race, whether you call yourself German Caucasian, American Caucasian, Jewish Caucasian, you all descend from Esau. Remember Genesis 25:25 said the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and his name was called Esau. All right. Why does it say red? Because the blood shows through their skin. They are not brown melanated at all. Okay. So the Edomite on the panel said that Kyrie Irving, he said that Kyrie Irving promoted the film and book Hebrews to Negroes just by posting it, saying, hey, you should watch this. No, that's not what he said. I'm going to give you an example. I sent a link of the Jeffrey Dahmer movie that's currently on Netflix to a few brothers. Some watched all the episodes. Some watched only a few episodes. I only watched episode 1. But when we all talked, we all agreed it was gross, it was disgusting, it was nasty. Nobody, not one, agreed with the film, not even partially, to say, hey, we agree with this. Oh, hey, yeah. No. See, and white folks know that. What white folks know, and I'm talking about Jewish people in particular, they know black folks is stupid. They won't examine nothing out. They won't check nothing out. Whatever their white slave masters say, they gonna rock with it. Yeah, Kyrie Irving posted the link to this movie. He agreed with everything in the movie. When did he say that? When did he say? I figured that out from the second it came up. When did he say he agreed with everything in the movie, in the film, in the book? He didn't say that. You're making an assumption to fit your evil traps that you're about to set. Oh, yeah, that's right. I said it. That's right. I said it. Okay, so now, Kyrie Irving posted a link of Hebrews to Negro. And many of you drew a stupid conclusion that he's anti-Semitic. That's evil and stupid, okay? I saw Hebrews and Negroes years ago. The first half was proving blacks are Israel, and the guy named Ron Dalton used Deuteronomy 28. I forgot. I think, Deuteronomy 28, or did he use Leviticus 26? I forgot. But I remember the first half of the film I agreed with. But the second half of the film, he went into discussing DNA testing must be done, and I 100% disagreed with that. There's no scripture in the Bible, in the Torah, in the Tanakh, in the Bible, in the New Testament that says you have to run to the white man's science to get DNA tested to prove that you're Israel. That's nowhere found in any text. That's something Ron Dalton made up himself. I disagree with it. Okay? It's non-biblical. In fact, I'd even dare say it's blasphemous. We have to go to the white man's science to prove that we Israel. Now, let me give you a scripture. Yeah, let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse, let me look at it, 20. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20. And it reads, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings, and oppositions of science, falsely so called, which some professing have erred concerning the faith. Grace be with thee. Amen. So that's why I disagree with Ron Dalton regarding the DNA testing. Okay, in order to prove that you're Israel, God says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read Isaiah 34:16. That's what the Lord says. Okay, you got to go into the Bible to prove you Israel. Notice that in 1 Timothy 6 and 20, it says in oppositions of science. Science opposes the word of God. I give an example with DNA testing. And I'll tell you about the DNA testing. People are using it not just to find out who their daddy and their mommy is, but they're using it in terms of crimes. They'll find your DNA and find a close relative that matches someone in a rape or murder case in your family. I'm telling y'all. Now, DNA testing, in order to prove that you are an Israelite, let's talk real. Let's talk real. You would need the actual DNA of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for it to work. Nobody has the DNA of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So what does white folks do? They find one of their Jewish Edomites, get his or her DNA, and then match one of you dumb Negroes to it and go, oh, yes, the Limba or whoever matches close to this. It's BS. Total BS. You'd have to go back generations upon generations upon generations upon generations upon generations upon generations upon generations. It's impossible to do. I don't know what's wrong with black folks. Some of y'all dumb as hell. So like I said, the Bible don't agree with DNA testing. The Bible condemns it. Okay? Notice verse 21 again. Which some professing have erred concerning the faith. Grace be with thee. Amen. I hope y'all understand that. For all you E1B1 or whatever the hell that crap is. Never expect people like Shaquille O'Neal or Charles Barkley. By the way, Charles Barkley, you know he's married to a white woman named, what's her name? Maureen Blumhardt. What does the Bible say about us marrying the other nations? Let's go to Joshua 23 and let me see the verse, hold on. Verse 12. Joshua 23, we're going to read 12 and 13. And it reads, else, if ye do in any wise go back, this is the Lord talking to the Israelites, and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you, know for certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps unto you, scourges in your sides, thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good land which the Lord your God hath given you. So we were warned from the beginning not to marry the other nations, okay? Most Israel obeys, but some have not obeyed, okay? Understand that thing. Understand that thing. Now, that might not be good enough for some of you. So what we're going to do now is go to the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13 and verse 23. This is about interracial marriage and how marriage it's not just about love. Sometimes it's very, very political. You marry the women of the other nations, you black men, you black women. When you gone and or divorced, they take, the other nations I'm referring to, take your money that they get from you and give it to their white folks or whatever nation they come from. Marriage is very political. Nehemiah 13, verse 23. In those days also saw I Jews that married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Wait a minute. So Solomon sinned by marrying women of other nations? Let's read what King Solomon did in 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 1. It's going to give you a list of nations. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, that's white folks, Zidonians, and Hittites, Hamites. I want y'all to see that Solomon sinned Back to Nehemiah 13:26. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin? Now, y'all all know, because but how do you know? How do you know we Israel? In case y'all forgot that King Solomon is a black man of the tribe of Judah. When you read the Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 1, the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Let's jump down to verse 5, please. I am black, but comely, meaning good looking, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. In this song, King Solomon lets everybody know he's a black man. So don't get it twisted. Don't get stupid. We are the Israelites, okay? That's who we are. That's who we be. So how stupid is somebody like Charles Barkley? It really perturbs me. He said Kyrie Irving insulted Adam Silver. He said Adam's Jewish. He doesn't even know what the suffix ish means. Ish means somewhat. He's somewhat a Jew. What does it mean he's somewhat a Jew? Through conversion. He's not the original people. So, Charles Barkley, you need to shut the hell up. You don't know nothing, okay? He said, you can't take my $40 million and insult my religion. Sure, you have the right to insult me, but I have the right to keep my $40 million. Then he compares a voiceless, textless tweet to players that were suspended for making homophobic slurs, gay slurs. You know what a slur is? You verbalize it. When did Kyrie Irving verbalize anything against Adam Sandler? Not Adam Sandler, Adam Silver. I don't give a damn. Or any of these so-called Jewish people. When did he verbalize or send a text writing out any type of disparaging remarks? He never did. He never did. Charles Barkley stumbled across saying he should be suspended if you insult the black community. Now, he tried to throw it back at us. He said, you should be suspended if you insult the black community. Again, notice, Kyrie Irving never gave his opinion on the film. Just like when I sent out that Jeffrey Dahmer film, I never gave my opinion until everybody looked at it and we all discussed it. Understand that. I know some of you listening, some of you are smart, you intelligent, but some of you black people are dumb as hell. You're nothing but boot-licking coons, okay? Let me go on. Again, notice Kyrie Irving never gave his opinion on the post by voice or text. Next, you had the next bootlicker, Shannon. What's his name? Shannon Sharp, breathing all the white man's air with that nose. Shannon Sharp notices, I want y'all to notice that these programs are led, these panels of discussion, it's always led by old, non-athletic white men.
The positions were only created so a novice could follow the game. Just because you're a power forward, that doesn't make you physical. Just because you're a shooting guard, that don't mean you can jack up threes. That's just
what were you, Jalen? What were you?
Where were you? Did you
Did
you average 1.4 points as a senior in high school?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so all of that Pistol P stuff, Water Pistol Pete Jr.
Okay, we'll address that later. We're going to.
Don't ignore that. Did you play junior?
Yeah.
Did you play JV as a junior?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I follow
What were you?
Okay.
What were you? What was your position?
I have no position.
You were a point guard.
I have no game.
You were up.
I'm going to say it again. I want y'all to peep it. All these ESPN or whatever these platforms are, they're always run and conducted by old, non-athletic white men. And you got big, strong bucks running their mouth for massa. Okay? You can't make this stuff up. The black men are used to verbally whip the players that white folks are mad at. Let me say it again. These black bucks on these panels are used to verbally whip the players that white folks are mad at.
Go ahead.
I hope y'all understand that thing. I hope y'all understand that thing. So Shannon Sharpe claims to be part of the black community. Since when has Shannon Sharpe been part of the black community? Hey, I always say this, show me who you married to and I will show you who your allegiance is to. Okay? So you said, well, Shannon Sharpe ain't married. Yeah, he probably ain't married now because his white wife cheated on him and left him and took half his money to her people. Because you use your platform to whip your people. Now, I'm going to show you in the Bible how our people was often used to whip their people. Let's go to Exodus chapter 5, verse 10. And the taskmasters of the people went out, and their officers, we're going to find out who their officers are. And they spake to the people, saying, Thus saith Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. Go ye, get you straw where you can find it, yet not aught your work shall be diminished. So the people, which are the people of Israel, the 12 black tribes of Israel, so the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble instead of straw. And the taskmasters hasted them, saying, Fulfill your works, your daily tasks, as when there was straw. Watch this. And the officers of the children of Israel, and the officers of the children of Israel, which Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and demanded, Wherefore have ye not fulfilled your task in making brick both yesterday and today as heretofore? Then the officers of the children of Israel came and cried unto Pharaoh, saying, Wherefore dealest thou thus with thy servants? Here's the point what I want y'all to see. Pharaoh set up taskmasters. The taskmasters set up officers to whip the children of Israel. Now, when the children of Israel did not fulfill their quota, those officers of the children of Israel got whipped. Then they cried to Pharaoh, Why do you deal so with us? We doing the best we can to get our people to work. That's your Shannon Sharpe. That's your Shaquille O'Neal. That's your Charles Barkley and whoever else is out there bootlicking and buck dancing.
Buck dancing for massa. I don't know if it's money low, but you know they do anything. He probably done got on his knees and did some strange shit for some change. Buck dancing for massa. I'll do it for you, massa. When the shit hit the fan, all them got to go, family.
That's you. And I'm going to say, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. When the Lord returns, all you jive time Negroes, you're going to get a heavy, heavy judgment. Understand that. So how dare you talk about Kyrie Irving? You being a ruckus, you cooning, you boot-licking Negroes. All that's true, Shannon Sharpe. You are a ruckus. You are a coonin. You are a bootlicker. All that's true. And I'm glad you know it, because judgment is coming. What did he say? Shannon Sharpe said, I might be all those things, but I'm fair. Are you really fair? Brett Favre didn't get the publicity for stealing welfare funds, allegedly. Where's all the reporters in Brett Favre's face, shoving mics in his face, huh? Constantly questioning him day by day. You black people don't see nothing wrong with that? Put the clip up about Brett Favre. I want the clip up of Brett Favre right now.
Brett Favre, his charity, Favre for Hope, donated more than $130,000 to the University of Southern Mississippi Athletic Foundation from 2018 to 2020. That, according to tax records obtained by ESPN. During the same period, Favre was trying to raise money for a new volleyball stadium at Southern Miss, where he played football and his daughter was on the volleyball team. Favre for Hope, whose mission statement says it provides support for disadvantaged and disabled children and breast cancer patients, receives public donations. This comes after it was reported Saturday that Favre continued to press Mississippi state officials for help in paying for the new volleyball facility months after being told by then-Governor Phil Bryant that the misuse of more than $5 million in state welfare funds could be illegal, according to text messages in a court filing. Also, Favre, Sirius XM, and ESPN Milwaukee radio appearances have been put on hold as news of his involvement in this matter continues to emerge. Favre has not been criminally charged, and his attorney has denied that Favre knew of the use of these welfare funds. Okay, a lot to unpack here. Stephen A., how do you feel?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
So you saw it for yourself. You brothers and sisters, you don't see something wrong with this? Kyrie Irving ain't steal nothing from nobody. He didn't verbally hurt nobody. He didn't physically hurt nobody. But you got questions or mics all in his face. But Brett Favre, he stole money. Stole, allegedly. There's no mics. Shannon Sharpe ain't do a day-by-day play. Charles Barkley ain't do a day-by-day play. Who else is there? Shaquille O'Neal ain't do a day-by-day play. Didn't say he should be this, this should be done to him. None of that. But when it comes to their own people, they should be fined. They should be suspended. I want y'all to see how ruthless black people are to please their white slave master. This dude, Shannon, says because black people don't have a lot of people that transcended from where we come from, we tend to overlook their transgressions. Nah, bruh, nah. Again. Kyrie Irving posts never gave a pro or con for or against the film. He never verbalized. He never texted his opinion. It's all the assumption of evil white folks. And all you bootlickers ran with what white folks said or thought. We got to protect white. We got to protect our master. We got to make sure his feelings ain't hurt. Shannon, you're not pro-black. You said you pro this, you pro that. You ain't pro nothing but pro-self. Or I'll say it this way. This is even better. You pro-Caucasian. Ask your wife. She'll tell you. Your ex-wife, she'll tell you. You pro-slave massa. Then this clown, Shannon Sharpe, I'm still talking about, this clown said everybody went through things throughout the course of time. He mentioned the so-called Jewish community. The Jewish community went through the Holocaust. Listen, Shannon, the so-called Holocaust, as you claim it, it was a 5-year war that occurred during World War II. And what did they get as a result of suffering for 5 years? They received land that didn't belong to them. Land, in fact, that was already occupied by Palestinians. They also received billions upon billions of dollars of reparations from Germany, Britain, even America, to this very day. Then, so our Coon Shannon, do you understand that? They received reparations of billions upon billions of dollars, even received land that was already occupied, which don't belong to near one of them, because that belongs to the true 12 tribes of Israel. And I'm going to show you that at the end of this program. The Lord going to give it back to its rightful owner. Shannon also mentioned black people suffering slavery. Well, Shannon, we had slavery for over 400 years of oppression, which included chattel slavery, black codes, Jim Crow laws, redlining, oppression, and a systematic oppression even until today. Never, let me repeat it, never, let me repeat it again, never, Shannon Sharp, did we receive land or financial reparations. And you trying to equate us one with another? Nigga, please, you stupid as hell. Then Shannon Sharp mentioned the Japanese had intimate camps during World War II, where the Japanese were imprisoned in camps for 3 years, from 1942 to 1945. Guess what, Shannon? They received reparations, not just them, but their children and their children's children received financial reparations of $20,000 each for 3 years, being in intimate camps for 3 years. How are you going to compare that to us being oppressed and enslaved for 400 years and more? How are you going to compare it? Then he mentioned the Native Americans, the ones that suffered during the Trail of Tears. And that group received reparations. That was divided amongst, listen to what I'm about to say. It was divided amongst the $5 Indians. Look that up. Then Shannon came back and said he's not going to minimize what others went through to support his own black people. Whoa! So minimize. Shannon, how could you minimize 5 years of suffering that so-called Jewish people went through, 3 years of what so-called Japanese people went through, to 400 years of slavery, degradation, Jim Crow, black codes? How are you going to... It's already minimized, Shannon.
Yeah, I would just like to say to this gentleman, I would like to say to this gentleman and all other people who are not blessed with melanin at this point in time, to understand that what has happened in our history is that you have been misinformed as much as we have been misinformed. Much of the information that is brought forth, not only from Dr. Muhammad, but other areas, other scholars, are not available to you, as a sister said, in your curriculums that you have for 400 years when you did not allow us to read and write and was being hidden. Whether you, sir, personally did that or not, it was a legacy that was passed on to you. And I end by saying the Holocaust is simply the greatest atrocity on film. Ours was not filmed.
It's already minimized. They go, 6 million Jewish people suffered during the Holocaust. Well, how many black people suffered during the transatlantic slave trade? Over 100 million. So it's already minimized. Shannon, Charles Barkley, what the hell is wrong with you Negroes? Let's go back to the scripture. Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 11 and 12. Verse 11 reads, "Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law. All the 12 tribes of Israel have transgressed God's law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us." What curse? Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68. Let me explain Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68. It discusses losing your identity.
That's not your name. Toby's your name. Now what is your name? Say it.
Your sons and daughters being taken from you and going into captivity.
I will take the ones, Platt and Eliza.
Sold, Eliza and Platt, splendid.
I will give you something to
cry about your goddamn rights. Get out of here, kid. Out now.
It includes yokes of iron being put upon your necks.
Cachexia africana, or dirt eating.
What do they do, bite?
Oh, no. This is not a muzzle. No. It's simply to keep them from devouring every sort of refuse, including their own excrement and dirt. It's a form of unconscious suicide brought on by a lack of some substance of which we know nothing. Ah, there you are, little bird. There you are. Oh, boy.
It includes being sold on auction blocks via slave ships. Now, none of that I just mentioned fits white folks. That only fits our people. Okay, let's read it again. Daniel 9:11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us. And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68. Verse 12. And he hath confirmed his words, which he spoke against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. So you can't compare what we went through to any other race. I'm going to repeat it again. You can't compare what we as the 12 tribes of Israel went through to any other race. What they went through, the other races I'm talking about, is already minimized, my man Shannon Sharp. It's already minimized. You can't compare 6 million white folks being persecuted and killed to over 100 million of your own black and brown people being enslaved, being forced to lose their language, their identity, their land, their culture, their heritage. You can't compare it, my man. You can't compare it. From there, let's go to the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 42, verse 22. This is what it says about the Israelites. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. What does it mean we're robbed and spoiled? What was robbed from us? Our land, our wealth, our language, our heritage, our culture, our identity, our families. Let's read it again. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. Now, what does it mean we are snared in holes? Now, that's a metaphor. The holes that we're trapped in are holes of poverty, holes of ignorance, holes of false religious lies, holes of political lies, holes of false and bad education. Let's read that again. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. What are some of the prison houses? America's a big prison house. The lands we've been scattered in, like Britain, France, Germany, those are other prison houses. Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, those are other prison houses. But the main prison houses are these prison houses of mass incarceration like no other people on earth. They are for prey. What does it mean they are for prey? All nations prey upon us, P-R-E-Y. They hunt us to kill us in the streets. Ask George Floyd.
Shut up. They will kill me. They will kill me, man.
Ask Breonna Taylor. Ask Sandra Bland. Ask Mike Brown. I could go on and on. It says, and none delivereth for a spoil, and none saith restore. Shannon, what race of people ever went before the UN and said, restore to these people all that was taken from them? Restore their identity as the 12 tribes of Israel, restore their land, restore their language, restore their heritage, their culture, their wealth, and their families of people. Restore. Who has spoken up on our behalf? It sure as hell ain't you, Shannon. It sure as hell ain't you, Charles Barkley or Shaquille O'Neal. None saith restore. And notice they keep asking Kyrie Irving about anti-Semitism. And Kyrie correctly responds,
yes or no. I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
What does that mean?
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
Meaning if he knows he's an Israelite, he knows he's from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He descends from Shem, okay? Shem is the forefather of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shem had many Shemitic families come from him. Many Shemitic nations. There's about 9 Shemitic nations. And I guarantee you, Charles Barkley don't know him. Shaquille O'Neal don't know him. Shannon Sharp sure as hell don't even give a damn. But they keep trying to push the false narrative that anti-Semitic means anti-Jewish. No, that's a lie. Where's the word Jew in anti-Semitism? Find me the word Jew in there. It's not there. That's not what it means. Anti-Semitic means to be against. Anti means against. Semite means Shem. Against those that descend from Shem. That's the etymology of the words. So to be anti-Semitic means to be against the people of Shem. And Shem had 9 major nations that came from him. Okay? That includes the 12 tribes of Israel, which we are a part of. That includes blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. That includes Arabs. That includes Chinese and Japanese. That includes East Indians, Elam. That includes Caucasians, because you come from Esau. The hell is wrong with y'all? This is why they don't want the Israelites on mainstream media. We will blow your hole open. Let's look at the next clip, all right, where our brother Kyrie Irving got suspended. And I'm going to come back with my commentary on that.
Got some breaking news tonight from the NBA. The Brooklyn Nets have announced that they are suspending point guard Kyrie Irving for at least 5 games without pay. The suspension comes after a recent controversy where Irving shared a link to an anti-Semitic film last week. The team says that he has refused to acknowledge that the documentary had hateful material. Mr. Irving also refused to unequivocally say that he has no anti-Semitic beliefs. A statement from the team reads in part, quote, "We are of the view that he, Mr. Irving, is currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. We have decided that Kyrie will serve a suspension without pay until he satisfies a series of objective remedial measures that address the harmful impact of his conduct," unquote. Again, the breaking news from the NBA, Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets is suspended without pay for at least 5 games after sharing a link to an anti-Semitic documentary on social media.
Thanks for watching. Yesterday, let's go back. Skip, you and I discussed this yesterday. And Jen read that the Nets were willing to be fined by not making Kyrie available for
correct.
Media availability.
Yes. Sean Marks said it.
Yes.
He told the media he will not be available post-game, and that's against the NBA rules.
Right.
But he said, I don't want to create more of a fuss.
And I said the reason why, Skip, I said, now, when they start asking Kyrie questions, he's going to double down.
I got it.
And he didn't, after practice, what did he do? He doubled down.
He did.
And I'm listening to, I'm like, bruh. And then Adam Silver came out shortly before that and says, I didn't hear I'm sorry. What I said yesterday, I said, Skip, I'm looking at his statement. Where's the I'm sorry? No, I'm sorry. The Brooklyn Nets says, whoa, we've had enough. Say, we giving you an opportunity to say I'm sorry and to unequivocally disavow anti-Semitism, and you refuse to. So we're going to suspend you for a minimum of 5 games. Skip, I think for the first time, Kyrie allowed someone in the room to be smarter than he was. And they said, Kyrie, this is for real now. They're not playing with you. If you want to have if you want to play this season, if you want to possibly play in the future, you need to come out with a statement. Say, I'm sorry for the people that I've hurt, and disavow what you have been unwilling to disavow. And late last night, he did exactly that. Skip, you remember that? This was 2021. You remember Myles Leonard? He was playing COD, Call of Duty, with the Miami Heat. And he uttered a statement that the Jewish people find as offensive as black people find the N-word.
I remember. What happened?
They suspended him for a week.
They did.
They traded him to the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder said he's not going to play here, and he's never played another dribble in the NBA.
He has not. Good point. Very good point.
Somebody brought that to Kyrie. Now, Myles Leonard was just a journeyman guy. He's not Kyrie. But to prove a point, they will make an example. And Kyrie would have been made an example of, and he understood that. This was serious business. All he had to do, what he typed last night, or the statement that he read, or his team put out, all he had to do that was yesterday. Early yesterday, I'm sorry. I apologize for the people that I hurt, that I offended. That was not my intentions, but the intentions only matter to me. So I apologize to my Jewish brothers and sisters, to that community that I offended. Skip, you can't say an entire race of people. If you want to say, I had an interaction with John, who is Jewish, and he treated me bad, that's one thing. But when you say an entire race of people, Skip, it's kind of like when they say black people are lazy. If you want to say Mark is lazy, okay. But you can't label an entire race of people as something. And that's what Kyrie was doing, and he didn't understand that. So by Chim saying, well, I'm pro my brothers, I'm pro my sisters, okay. But you can't be so pro that you step on other people to try to prop your people up. That's what Kyrie didn't get. I am so glad, I'm so happy that he came to his senses, or someone around him that had better judgment says, Kyrie, this is the right thing to do. I'm hopeful that Kyrie have learned his lesson. The suspension is only 5 games, and he comes back and he plays basketball like he's been playing the first. It hadn't equated to win, Skip, but he's been playing phenomenal basketball.
But like on one end of the floor, he does.
All right. Did y'all hear that thing said, until Kyrie Irving satisfies a series of objective remedial measures, he was suspended for 5 games. Until he satisfies a series of objective remedial measures. Y'all remember what they did to Nick Cannon? You got to give so-called Jewish people money. You got to sit down with a lying false rabbi.
That's why I felt like I'd rather sit down with someone of your stature to really correct me. So I believe more than saying I'm sorry, which I am. I'm sorry for causing pain, hurt to people. But I need to learn how not to do that anymore.
Right. You got to go to the Simon Wiesenthal Museum all day, every day, and learn about that foolishness. Yeah, to hell with your 400 years of slavery and oppression. Let's look at our minimized 5 years. Yeah, 5 years of oppression. Look, white on white crime. Y'all got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. They said, I believe it was Shannon Sharp, yeah, his simple self. He said, you can't condemn a whole group of people. He said, sure, you can get on one person that you had a bad business practice with, but you can't condemn a whole group of people. Well, is that right? Let's go to the Tanakh, the book of Malachi, chapter 1. Now, I'm going to read Malachi chapter 1. I'm going to just start at verse 1. We're going to read down to verse 4. And you tell me, is God condemning a person or a whole group of people? Let's just start reading. Malachi chapter 1, verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. We are Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob. Remember, Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Esau is the father of all Caucasians. Verse 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whoa! Verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, now remember, in Genesis 25, when you get to verse 30, Esau's name also became known as Edom. Yep. Genesis 25, verse 30. It says Esau's name was also called Edom, which means red, because the red blood shows through his skin. Verse 4 again, Malachi 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Edom was impoverished during the Dark Ages. They returned during the time called Renaissance, which means rebirth. Okay? Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them, call Edom, the border of wickedness. And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Now, is that against a person or a whole group of people? It says the people. That's man, woman, boy, girl. So what in the hell is Shannon Sharp talking about? He don't know the Bible. He's never learned the Bible. Okay? From there. Let's go to Isaiah 51. And I'm going to start at verse 20. You want to know why or what's going on with our people? I'm going to show you right here. Verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets. Some of y'all that live in the cities, y'all see young black men and Latino men hanging on the corners of the streets of the city. That's what it means when it says thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets. Fainted from what? Fainted from the truth of who and what they are. So this causes them to be at the corners of all the streets. As a wild bull in a net, they're uncontrollable. They are full of the fury of the Lord. What is the fury of the Lord? The curses of God. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68. They're filled with the curses that God has put upon our people. The rebuke of thy God. Verse 21. Therefore hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. We are an afflicted people. But what does it mean, and drunken? We're drunken with the philosophies of society. We're drunken with false religion, false political aspirations, and we're drunken with despair of oppression. Verse 22. Thus saith the Lord and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling. So the cup of trembling, God said he's taken it out from us. Even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. So now in these last days, God said he's going to take away the cup of trembling from us. That's Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68 again. The oppression, the colonization, the slavery, okay, the impoverishedness, okay, the redlining. He said, I'm going to begin to take it from you. Verse 23, but I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee. Now you're starting to see a lot of white folks, impoverished, uneducated. Oh, it ain't over yet. It's gonna go towards into the kingdom. They're gonna suffer. Revelation 13:10. They're gonna suffer captivity the same way we suffered it. Oh, that's right. Verse 23 again. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul. Now listen good, brothers and sisters, listen good. You want to know what's happening with our brothers like Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, Nick Cannon, Ice Cube, the British rapper called Wiley, Deshaun Jackson? Listen good. Which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. What does that mean? White folks tell us, our people, bow down. You better apologize.
I'm sorry for causing pain, hurt to people.
You better recognize, you better shut your black lips when it comes to white Jewish people. Let's read that part again. Which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over. Shannon Sharp, bow down that we may go over. You better minimize the 400 years of slavery and oppression. Minimize that. And you better exalt the 5 years of the Jewish Holocaust. You better exalt and exemplify the 3 years of the Japanese in prison camps in America. Bow down that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. We have laid our bodies on the ground that white folks can walk all over us. They say, hey, I'm paying you $40 million, nigga. You better bow down. Shannon Sharp, I'm paying you big money. Bow down. Charles Barkley, I'm paying you big money. Bow down. Nick Cannon, I'm paying you big money. Bow down. Do y'all hear this? Kyrie Irving, I'm paying you big money. Bow down. Now, I'll say this. I want y'all all to listen to what I'm about to say, because I just found out myself. I knew about the music industry and how they give you cash advances of millions of dollars because they're considering that your album may do big, big money. But if your album don't do big money, you still owe that cash advance that they gave you that you didn't reach up to, and you got to do concert after concert to pay back money. Now let's talk about the sports world. I just found this out because I always wondered why. I'm like, well, why don't people just quit? You can't quit. You're under contract. And they give you millions of dollars of upfront money. Let's say, for example, you get a contract of $200 million. $200 million. I'm just throwing a number out there. And they give you upfront money of $100 million. Upfront in your account today, boop, you signed. So the remainder of the $100 million has to be paid off through the games that you play throughout the years, throughout that year of that contract. But let's say you decide, I quit today. That $100 million advancement that they put in your bank account, you owe that money. You got to give that money back. But let's say you bought a house, properties, you did this, you took your wife here, you took your kids, you bought them this, you bought them that. You ain't got the money. You still owe that money. Now, if you decide you're going to quit, where you going to work that's going to give you that type of money? McDonald's? Walmart? A correction officer? Police officer? What are you going to do to pay back that $100 million that you owe because you quit? So, brothers and sisters, I understand. I understand. It's a catch-22. I understand why people in the sports world don't really speak up. I see it. You've bound yourself to a contract. I understand. But I will say this. Listen good to what I'm about to say. Because T.D. Kirkland, if I'm not mistaken, he said,
what's up, everybody? It's comedian T.K. Kirkland, a.k.a. T to the motherfucking K. Yo, let's show mad love to Nick Cannon for keeping it 100 on the show. But I had a homie one time tell me, it ain't game unless it's good game. See, youngsters and see, ladies and gentlemen, the goal in this game is to get that paper and stay on the low and infiltrate the enemy by putting your kids through college, by getting your family and friends straight so that you can pass the baton to the next generation, because we all know what the past is. We all know that we are the true Hebrews. We all know what Caucasians have done throughout history with lies and whitewashing. But the goal is to be smooth about it. The goal is to get the money, educate your children and get knowledge that way. We don't have to prove a point because we cannot change history. We cannot change the way they think of us, but they can respect us. So the goal is to get the money, build power, and that's how you win. Remember, you always have to stay low-key and flex occasionally. Stay low-key and flex occasionally. That's all I gotta say. Wish you luck, Nick Cannon. You know I love you for life. But to the rest of the world, stay low-key, flex occasionally. Get that money, take care of your children, give them that knowledge, and you win that way. It's a marathon, like Nipsey used to say. Pass the baton to the next generation, educate, achieve, ownership. Peace.
Make your money. Once in a while, you say a little bit here and there, but don't go full force. But this is what I will do. The brothers that you see in this fight, like Israel United in Christ, and we're not the only ones, I would support us. And I know you can't do it directly because they monitor every bit of your life. But if I got let's say my mama, or I got a close relative that I can trust, what I would do, I'd say, hey, here's a couple of $1 million. I'm giving this to you, but what I want you to do with it, I want you to send a donation to IUIC, one of the Israelite camps, to support them on their endeavors of what they're doing. Now, I don't know if they can monitor that type of a thing. I don't know if their reach is that far. I could be wrong. But there's no way in hell I'm going to stand by. Because guess what? If I die today and I have not made my stand for this truth, I will be judged come Judgment Day. And never let it be said that I stood on the side of white supremacy and despised and did not help my people. Y'all better read Matthew 25. Remember what Christ said. And in at least, let me get it. Hold on. Let me get it right now. Matthew 25 and verse 34. I'm going to start there. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungered, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? Verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Wow. So you see the Israelites struggling. You see us on the corners, struggling, trying to get from country to country, traveling from state to state, country to country, trying to establish schools of learning to teach our people the truth of the Bible. And you stand idly by and do nothing. The Lord says, when you did it to the least of them that believe on me, you did it to me. And when you keep reading, he also continues and said, when you did not do it to the least of them that believe in me, you did it not to me. Depart from me. Nah, that can't be me. Nah, I'm not going out like that. I'm not going out like that. I know a lot of you think you're going to live forever. Our brother Kobe Bryant, he died a horrible death. My point is, it was unexpected. A lot of you think you're going to live till see tomorrow. That may not be so. You better do what you can today. Be as slick as you can be. I'm telling you, you better think, brothers. You better think. Okay? Now I got another question. In the sports world, in the entertainment world, where's the black woman in support of these black men? I want y'all to think about it.
Think about people like our brothers like Kendrick Lamar, Nick Cannon, Ice Cube, Deshaun Jackson, the British rapper named Wiley, Kanye West, or Ye, excuse me, or Kyrie Irving. Where has the black woman been in all this? What, she doesn't have a clue? She doesn't have a thought? Then she wants to run around and be respected. Are you women kidding me? Not one black woman stood up in their defense. I'm talking about them in the entertainment world. Not one black or Latin woman. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, in the garden, Eve disregarded her black husband, Adam. That's right, Genesis 2:7, Adam was black. Eve disregarded her black husband, Adam, and sided with Satan. Let's look at Isaiah 32. I want all you sisters to listen good. Isaiah 32 and verse 9. And it reads, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall you be troubled, and ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you, make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins." Why? Because you women, you're going to catch hell. You never stand for righteousness. You always, as soon as righteousness speaks, you stand on the sidelines. I want to be a feminist. I want to be a lesbian. I want to be a hot girl. I want to have a hot girl summer. You evil, wicked black women who stand for nothing except evil. Judgment's going to come for you too. Judgment going to come. I know what you're saying, right? Judgment going to come for all of us, nigga. That's right. Judgment is going to come for all of us. But have you stood for God's commandments as the Israelites? You got to answer yes or no, sis. Or did you stand for the hot girl summer? Did you stand for being a thought? Did you stand for feminism? Did you stand for lesbianism? Lesbianism. You answer the question. Okay. Now, I want y'all to remember what we read in the book of Malachi, how it called Esau, Edom, the border of wickedness, the people whom the Lord has indignation against forever. I want y'all to remember that. So now let's go to Psalm 64 and verse 1. And it reads, "Hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy." In case y'all didn't know it, Kyrie Irving, Nick Cannon, Ice Cube, Deshaun Jackson, Wiley, even Ye, they're in fear of the enemy. Fear. Why? Because they hold their financial life in their hands. Who wants to go back to poverty? Moses did, but hey, everybody ain't a Moses type of a person. Moses gave up being called the Prince of Egypt, being called Pharaoh's son. But everybody ain't like that. The Apostle Paul gave up being a Pharisee. The Pharisees were well respected, rich. He gave it up. Everybody's not a Paul. Verse 2. "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked." I want y'all to really meditate on that. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Who's the wicked, brothers and sisters? We read it in Malachi, chapter 1, verse 1 through 4. Esau, Edom is the wicked, biblically. Okay? Now, so notice it says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked." I want y'all to examine what's been going on. These entertainers, Kendrick Lamar, Kyrie Irving, Wiley, Nick Cannon, Ice Cube, Deshaun Jackson, they all had one thing in common. When you examine all that they said, and they all spoke on different things, but they all had one thing in common. They all said, "We black people are the children of Israel." And all of them caught hell. There are secret counsels that the wicked, that Esau, Edom has against us. They call them think tanks, where they sit down and they think about ways to destroy this truth, that the name of Israel will be no more in our people's remembrance. You better apologize before I destroy your life. Okay? Verse 2 again. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Ooh. Verse 3, watch this. Who whet their tongue like a sword. The white man, Esau Edom, uses their tongue as a weapon. Kyrie Irving says, I know who I am. They go, oh, that's anti-Semitism. You're against Jewish people. When did he say that? He said he knows who he is. I want you to see the cunning deceit of these people who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bow to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. You better donate money to the Simon Wiesenthal Museum. You better go to the, you better go sit down with a so-called fake rabbi who doesn't know a damn thing. You better humble yourself to us, boy. Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Who's the perfect? The 12 tribes of Israel. Those of us who know we're Israel in the faith of Christ, trying our best to keep the commandments, we are the perfect. Watch this, read it again. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Why does it say in secret? They don't want nobody to know their secret plans of our destruction. That's why they have these meetings where they sit down and legislate laws. Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Verse 4, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares, which means traps, privily, that means secretly. They say, who shall see them? Who's going to figure out that we've done this? Who's going to figure it out? I remember I was thinking back on Sam Cooke and how he wanted to fund Martin and Malcolm X's ventures together. And all of a sudden, Sam Cooke died a mysterious death by a prostitute in a hotel. I said, nah, something's wrong with that. That don't sound right. That don't sound right at all. Y'all try to figure it out. So let's go to Psalms 94. Psalms 94, verse 16. This is the Lord asking a question. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? That's the Lord calling out the men. I'm going to say it again. That's the Lord calling out you men. You women too. But he's mainly focusing on the men. Who's going to rise up for me against the evildoers? You see us doing it, and they say, oh, they're anti-Semitic. No, we're rising up for the Lord against the evildoers. Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? We're rising up. That's what's happening right now. Let's jump down to verse 21. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. That's what you see happening with Kanye West. That's what you see happening with Kyrie Irving. That's what you saw happening with Nick Cannon, Deshaun Jackson, Ice Cube. Let's read it again, verse 21. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. Wow. So Hollywood, you black entertainers, men, women, boys, girls, I want you all to listen to this. I don't care what section of the entertainment world you're in, whether you are an actor, an athlete, or a court jester. And when I say court jester, I'm referring to you black comedians. Listen good. Zephaniah 2:1. Don't take offense. Don't take offense. Your job is to make people laugh. During the Middle Ages, that was called a court jester. So don't take offense. Zephaniah 2:1. This is what God says to the 12 tribes of Israel. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Nobody desires us black and brown people. We're the Israelites. We are not desired, but we are commanded to gather together. Unity, 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 unity.
Every time our people tried to unite, they were met with assassination. Brothers, sisters, in these last days, don't fear that at all. Gather yourselves together. Verse 2, before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. So what is the Lord telling us? Gather yourselves together as the Israelites, keeping the commandments before the day of destruction, the day called Armageddon, the day the world calls World War III. Gather yourselves together. Why? Watch this. Verse 3, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth. The meek of the earth are the Israelites, which have wrought his judgment. That means which have done his commandments. That's why I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, you better be keeping his commandments. Seek ye righteousness. The righteousness of the Lord is not just his law. It's the acceptance of Christ, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. You can read about that in Romans 10. Seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. I don't know about you, but as for me and mine, we want to be hid on the day when the day of the Lord comes back. Verse 4, watch this. For Gaza shall be forsaken. Where's Gaza? The land of Israel today. It shall be forsaken by the Lord. And Ashkelon, a desolation. Where's Ashkelon? In the land of Israel, it shall be a desolation. That means destroyed. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday. Where's Ashdod? The land of Israel. It shall be driven out at noonday. Noonday is when the destruction will hit and destroy Israel. Then it says, and Ekron shall be rooted up. Ekron is modern day Tel Mikni. Where's that at? The land of Israel. The Bible is teaching us the land of Israel will be wiped out and destroyed. Why? Because those are not the people of God over there. That land has been corrupted. But you, black entertainers, you want to stand by the side of the Israelis. You want to stand by the side of the so-called Jewish people. Well, I'm here to tell you, the Bible prophesies they all going to get wiped out. That land shall be eradicated, and a new land of Israel shall be established there. Understand what I'm saying. That's for another day, another lesson, brothers and sisters. Another day, another lesson. But let's get some more. I want to go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 15. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 15, and let's start at verse 28. Here's a chain of events that's going to happen. This is for those of you who want to stand on the side of unrighteousness, who want to stand on the side of your so-called Jewish slave masters. Watch this. Here's the prophecy. Now, you can accept the prophecy or reject it. It don't make me a hill of beans. It don't mean a hill of beans. It's going to come to pass. 2nd Esdras 15, verse 28. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. That's the other side of the world. Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots. So the Arabians are going to come out with many chariots, tanks, jets, things of that nature. And a multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. All the Arab nations are going to gather together. They're going to come together and fight. Let's see who they're going to come against. Watch this. It reads on. Also, meaning not just the Arabs, but it says also the Carmanians. The Carmanians is modern day Iran. That's the Iranians of today. Also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. And with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Now you got to know a little bit of history about that. What is the land of the Assyrians? Remember, Assyria took over a portion of Israel when you read in the book of Kings. So what is this talking about? It's talking about the white man that took over the land of Israel. Let's read that part again. And shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Whoa, that's where you white folks are. Watch this, verse 31. And then shall the dragons,
The dragons are the Arabs that we read about in verse 29. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, the Arabs are going to conspire together with the Iranians. That's what the Bible says. I hope y'all understand that. Verse 30, let me read the bottom of verse 31 again. Conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Verse 32, then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians, that's Israel, shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them. And in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. Now, I'm going to end that one right there, brothers and sisters. So you brothers and sisters in Hollywood, you brothers and sisters in the sports world, you make your decision on whose side you stand. As for me and mine, we're going to stand on the side of the Most High and his son, the world calls Jesus the Christ, as the 12 tribes of Israel. We know what's coming. You could play games, you could close your eyes and act stupid if you want. But when this day comes, you will not say, I was confused, I didn't know. Oh, no, you're going to get judged on that day. So brothers and sisters, let's get to the reading of the shout out letters and donations, shall we?
Empirios que tenían poder en esos tiempos, todos sabían que ese es su Dios.
Acabo de aprender. Los hermanos estamos aquí diciendo lo que ustedes son de la tribu de quién.
De Israel.
No podemos condenar, pero sí podemos juzgar.
Vamos a tratar de ayudar al hermano tuyo que vive aquí en tu casa.
Mía, se acabó. Llegó la verdad aquí.
Esa es la ley que Dios nos dio.
¿Qué color era Cristo?
Negro.
All right, let's get to the reading of the shout out letters. Now, there weren't a lot of letters this week. As a matter of fact, just a few, but that's all right. All praises to the Most High. This first letter reads, Dear Bishop Nathaniel, keep up the good work. May God bless IUIC always. From Peyton P. Thank you, Peyton. All praises to the Lord. All praises. The next one reads, Hello, hope you are fine. Just a little something for whichever part you think needed. For the family, brothers and sisters, shalom. From Linda J. Peace be with you. Linda J. Thank you so much. All right, the next one reads, Shalom, Bishop Nathaniel. I'm so grateful for all you and the prophets do to wake up the house of Israel worldwide. All praises to the Most High in Christ. Blessed are the feet of them that bring the good news of the gospel of peace. Please add these alms seed to the travel of you and the prophets. I love you and your beautiful wife. Always praying for you, your sister, Leora. Thank you, Sister Leora. All praises, all praises. All right, the next letter reads, Shalom, Bishop Nathaniel. All praises to the Most High. I enjoy learning the Bible the way I never heard it before. I like running back and forth in the Old Testament. I have 3 questions. If I'm asking too much, then disregard due to the time frame of the show. Number 1, in 1 Samuel 15:20, if King Saul destroyed Amalek, except King Agag, where did Haman the Agagite in Esther 3 verse 10 come from? Well, that was just a certain town, a certain city. Okay, that was not all Amalek that he had killed. He had destroyed pretty much the entire city, but left King Agag alone. Okay, and as you know the story, Samuel, a prophet, had to kill and chop up Agag. Okay, but there were many, many more Amalekites. All right, number 2, in 2 Samuel 8:14, after King David subdued all of his enemies in the land, why did he only put garrisons throughout Edom? Edom was up and rising When you read in the book of Kings, it says that Esau broke free from under the tributary of Israel. Okay. Number 3, did America get the idea of stationing embassies throughout the world from this scripture? 2 Samuel 8:14. That was the same one that we just looked at regarding the garrisons. It's possible. It's possible. But as we know, America has their embassies everywhere. Like they just moved their embassy from Tel Aviv in Israel to Jerusalem. You can read that about that in Daniel chapter 11, the last verse. Okay. Then he goes on, may God continue to keep and bless the families of IUIC. I'll continue to send prayers up for you all. Please accept my donation toward building the nation of Israel. Brother Michael. Thank you, Brother Michael. All praises, all praises. All right, now let's get to the shout-out donations. We want to give a shout-out to Willie J. M. Jr. of Fort Wayne, Indiana. We want to give a shout out to Peyton P. of Des Moines, Indiana. Or is that Idaho? I forgot. We want to give a shout out to Kyron N. of Jackson, Florida. Thank you for the bricks. All praises. We want to give a shout out of thanks to Maurice or Betty H. of South Bend, Indiana. We want to give a shout out to Linda J. of Calumet Park. Shout out of thanks to Tarak Y. of Euclid, Ohio. Shout out of thanks to Roger Brooks J. We want to give a shout out of thanks to PB of Dolton, Illinois. All praises. Shout out of thanks to Elizabeth. This is for Joseph's Dream. All right. Now, y'all know there's a website for Joseph's Dream, Matthew213.com. Matthew213.com. Shout out of thanks to Sister Elizabeth again. Sister Elizabeth again. Thank you so, so much. Shout out of thanks to Shematil B.I. of Richmond, Virginia. Shout out of thanks to Sister Leora. Shout out of thanks to Gwendolyn T.H.H., okay, of Virginia. All praises. Shout out of thanks to Michael S.R. of Chesapeake, Virginia. Shout out of thanks to Herman B. of Florence, South Carolina. And last but not least, shout out of thanks to Darda D. of Fresh Meadows, New York. Brothers, sisters, you know how I love to say, let's all of us stay healthy. Let's stay faithful. Let's stay focused. But most of all, let's all of us stay in the spirit. Most High in Christ bless you all. Love you. Shalom.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.